Hey guys, Frogimago here. Today is the beginning of the next season of the Limited League on the Sorcerer Summit Discord. I've been eagerly awaiting this season because we're going to be drafting my cube. So I have a 405 card powerful cube that we will now be able to draft against bots and play online whenever you want to draft. So you can now draft my 405 card powerful cube against bots and then queue up on the Sorcerer Summit. So if you head over to Sorcery Online, you can see that there's a button to sign into your Discord. So just sign into that. And then you'll be able to see that there is now the Sorcerer Summit Limited Frogimago's Cube. So this is the official run for you to start your first cube draft and be able to play against people on the summit. So I'm going to be showing off a practice draft, but before we do that, I want to explain how the season works, talk about the pricing, and how to do practice drafts before you go into an official draft. So first of all, the pricing for this season, you play on the summit, you gain and lose ELO, and then if you end up in the top 8, then you get into the top 8 draft. We'll schedule a separate draft. We'll draft my cube. Whoever 3-0s that draft will win in Apprentice Wizard promo. This is the non-foil. They're about $40 in the US, about $60 in Europe. So pretty nice price there. And then also, if you make the top 8, then I will raffle off 100 dust. So congratulations to the winner of the Arthurian Legends season. If you didn't watch, my last live stream was Isham versus Justin playing Arthurian Legends draft, and the winner of that won in Apprentice Wizard promo. Congratulations to Cole W, who was the winner of the 100 Dust raffle. So yeah, check out that live stream if you want to watch that final match. So ELO scores are reset for the season, so everyone starts at 1500 ELO. If you've never encountered my cube before, it is 405 cards. I put whatever I consider to be the 405 best cards in Sorcery. We've done a lot of cube drafts at this point, and I've modified the list a lot, and recently I even looked at my list to try to see if there anything that I want to adjust, and honestly, I walked away with it being really happy with my cube. I made no changes at all, so I'm really, really happy with the list right now. There's a ton of interesting archetypes to draft. There are 16 avatars you can build around. And if you want a deep dive on the cube format, you can watch the cube format overview video I did with Justin recently. I will link that video in the description. And then I also wanted to show how do the bots actually know how to draft cube. So if you go to the card ladder, which is on the home screen here, you click card ladder. There's a default ladder, which works for all of the regular draft formats. So if you just draft 3 packs of Arthurian Legends or something, you'll be drafting with this card ladder. But I had Adu set up this separate cube card ladder because the draft picks in cube are just so much different than a regular draft format. So if you go there, you can actually see there's a draft score for every single card. You might notice some cards have a score of exactly 50. Those are the cards that have no data. That's just like a neutral score. And those cards are just not in my cube. So the cards that are in my cube that we've been drafting in the weekly draft, so I think we've done maybe like a dozen drafts or something of my cube on here using this card ladder. When we do weekly drafts, we just draft against actual humans who know what's going on in the draft format. So with all of that information, the bots are able to learn and adapt and know how high they should be taking cards when they're drafting cube against humans. So this card ladder is what the bots use. So when you draft one of your runs on the Sorcerer Summit Discord, you're going to be drafting against bots using this card ladder. So you can see right now, Ring of Morrigan is the top rated card on here, and that is based on actual draft picks, and that's Necromancer, Philosopher's Stone, Abaddon Succubus. So if you ever wanted to look at how good is a card in cube, generally speaking, you could go to this list and look up, Archangel Michael or whatever, or all the Archangels will pop up here, and you can see, okay, Archangel Michael is considered the best, and then Raphael, and then Gabriel, and then Samael. So yeah, really cool. You can kind of know what's good and what isn't. If you can sort by draft scores, you can see like some of these cards I actually cut out of my cube because I just, took a look at this list and was like, okay, people have last picked Revered Revenant like 4 different times. People aren't really drafting Savior very high. This just isn't a card that's worth having in my cube anymore, so I cut it. So yeah, you can kind of look through here. You can also look at, obviously, my full cube list. I will have that in the description as well. It's actually in the description of all of my videos if you ever want to look at it. But yeah, this is the card ladder. So just so you know, that is how the bots know how to draft cube. And during the middle of a draft, you could even just look at the card ladder and see, like, what should I first pick out of this pack? Which card has the highest draft score? And you could kind of like cheese the draft a little bit and just kind of see like, okay, Frogimago's weekly draft crew is drafting this card as if it's like an A-level card. That's kind of another cool thing I'll just show really quick. There's this scale right here is showing that C plus is average at 50, and then an F has 0 points and A has 100 points. So you can kind of use that as like a letter grading scale if you wanted to. Also, you might notice that Sorcery Online is rebranded. So it used to be draftsorcery.com. This is still the same website. It's still created by Adu, but he rebranded it to Sorcery Online, which I think is pretty smart. And you can also play on here now, but I'm not really going to go into all of that, but just know that there is a way to like set up a table and actually play against your opponents on here. You can actually just load in your last draft deck or something. But anyway, yeah, so let's leave this room. I should also mention the bots do draft like 2-element decks, so they're not just taking the best card no matter what. They actually eventually will determine these are my 2 elements. I'm going to stick to these 2 elements for the rest of the draft. So you can actually read what elements is the bot next to me drafting. So like I mentioned on the card ladder, those are all based on actual human draft picks. And now that this is going to be the official season, every time that you make a draft pick in an official run, that will actually change the card ladder ratings. So just be aware of that. It's going to be really interesting to see where all the cards, like which cards get bumped up or lower in the card ladder based on people who've probably never drafted Cube before hopping into a draft and messing around and playing Cube with people. But, you know, feel no pressure about having to make like the right decision during a draft. It'll all get filtered out as more and more people draft Cube who know what's going on, and the card ladder will adjust for that. So on the home screen, you can see there's a button to start a new run. If you draft a run, you'll be drafting against 7 bots. You will then build your deck and export it over to Curiosa, and then you can queue up in the Limited League on the Sorcerer Summit Discord. I'll just show that really quick. So this is the limited leaderboard if you go to leaderboard on the Sorcerer Summit, but obviously there is also the looking for game queue. So if you go over here, you can join limited, and I think if you click this, it will probably tell me I don't have a legal thing, and then it will actually just link to Sorcery Online. So if you clicked that, you could also just get to the website if you don't want to remember playsorceryonline.com. So you queue up on the Sorcerer Summit, you play against someone, and then you report your match. You play until you get either 4 wins or 2 losses, whichever happens first, and then you retire that run and you come back to Sorcery Online and draft a new Cube deck. But I wanted to also mention that it's pretty important to see there's a practice draft button here, and I had Adu program it so that the practice draft default is my Cube. So you could draft something else on here. Anytime that you want to do a practice draft of any format, you should come here and do it. My Cube is going to be the default practice draft. So I highly, highly recommend, if you've never done a Cube draft before, come here, click practice draft, start a practice draft, and that is what we're going to be doing in a little bit. All right, so here we are on my Cube page. So this is Frogimago's Cube. This is my 405 card cube. If you wanted to look through this list, you could find all of the cards that are on my cube, but I really wanted to point out the primer. So you could read through this primer. It's pretty extensive. I explain a lot of the format, a lot of tips and tricks for all the avatars, what's been working and what hasn't. There's some 2-card combos here, a suggested pick order, but honestly, I would use the card ladder if you're going to look at that. And then you can watch my video that I did on the format overview. I think that's the link right here. But I mostly wanted to point out the house rules before we started. So if you draft Adept Illusionist, you get an additional copy of that card to put in your deck. Oh, I can actually pull it up right here. So this is Adept Illusionist. This is the card that you tap and search for an additional copy of it that's in your spellbook. Make sure if you do this, that you actually put it in your spellbook. You're not allowed to get it from outside the game and put it into your hand. It has to actually be shuffled into your deck. So when you take this, it's kind of like taking 2 cards and putting both of them in your deck. So just be aware of that. For Dragon Lord, if you draft it, you get to choose any unique dragon as your champion. You don't have to draft the unique dragon. You get to choose, you know, the Zephyrum Conrule or, you know, the Water Dragon, the Fire Dragon, any of the unique dragons, not the ones just from Dragon Lord, but any unique dragon you can choose as your champion, and then you can pay 3 mana to have him gain those abilities. The next house rule is for Pathfinder. So the first line of his text box says your atlas can't contain duplicates. That does include, according to the official rules, like Wasteland and Valley and Stream and whatnot. So in order to technically play this, you would have to draft at least 8 sites and then put all 4 basic sites in your deck. That's just going to be terrible for limited. So we made a house rule so that you can just ignore that first line of his text box. So you can have 12 valleys in your deck if you wanted that to be your atlas. So this is a very powerful avatar. I definitely recommend taking it because having big mana is very good in Cube. The next house rule is for Imposter. This is the avatar that you get to pay 3 mana to banish an avatar from your collection. And in Limited, technically, you would have to draft all of the avatars to put in your collection, but the house rule for this is that you can put any 10 avatars into your collection. Just so you know, for Limited, there is no limit to the amount of cards that you put in your collection, but you can choose 10 avatars to put into your collection for Imposter. That is the cap. You can choose 10 avatars for him to become. You can't draft a bunch of avatars and then add an additional 10. It's just you put 10 avatars in your collection for Imposter specifically. This is another very powerful and very fun avatar. That's really why I made the house rule, because I think this is a super fun card to play. It's super interesting, all the routes that you can go with it. So I love this card in Cube. It's one of the best cards, I think, in Cube. All right, the next house rule is for Eris Curiosa. So this is the 1 mana unique relic from Alpha. And it says to rip it to pieces and you draw a card from your collection. Obviously, you can't rip a digital card. So instead of ripping the card, you just banish it and then you draw a card from your actual collection, not like you just load in any card from Curiosa and just put it into your hand. You get to choose any card, put it into your hand. You don't have to reveal it to your opponent. You just put a card from your actual collection that you drafted from into your hand. And then the final house rule is for Chaos Twister. I am very convinced that the TTS button for this is just bad. It's only a 40% hit rate. And I have a video coming soon that shows that Chaos Twister should have a higher win rate than that. So look out for that video eventually. But the house rule for this is that instead of using the TTS button, or if you're playing My Cube and Paper, you don't have to actually do the whole put it on your hand, blow it off thing, because I know some people just don't like to do that. So the house rule for this is that you roll a d20. If you roll a 1, it's 1 step up. If you roll a 2, it's 1 step right. And then the same for 3 and 4 are down and left. And then 5+ is on target. I mean, you don't have to use these exact setups, but you roll a d20. If it's 1 through 4, it's a random adjacent square. And if it's 5+, then it's on target. So there's no roll a 1 and it's a complete fizzle, which is just a feel bad. And also, just look out for my video about this, because I go into detail about this house rule and why I made it. But yeah, those are all the house rules. So just be aware of that during your draft. And if you have any questions about the house rule or anything about my cube, please just send me a message on Discord or just ping me in the Limited channel and I will happily respond. So good luck to everyone in the cube draft season. I really hope you enjoy drafting my cube and playing it against people on the summit. And like I said, even if you don't think you're going to 3-0 a cube draft at the end of the season, you can still just try to get into the top 8 and potentially win 100 dust from a random raffle. Cube Draft is just such a fun archetype, so I hope everyone tries it out. I really don't want people to worry about if they're good or not at Cube Draft. It's one of those formats you just have to draft it a bunch of times to really figure out how it works. And like I said, go back to my format overview video I did with Justin recently, and you can kind of get up to speed on the format. All right, guys, I'm here, and I'm joined by Justin. If you watched the Cube format overview, we did that together, so appreciate you for joining me, Justin. I haven't done a draft walkthrough with anyone before, but that's what we're going to do today, so we're just going to hop into the practice draft. So like I said earlier, if you hit practice draft on here, you'll just automatically have Frogimago Cube as the default. So I highly recommend doing this before you jump into your first draft, especially if you've never drafted Cube before. So this one's not going to be for the ladder. It's just going to be for us to show some things off and talk through some draft picks. So I think the things that stand out to me, definitely Fields of Camlin is very, very powerful. Like a 0 mana board wipe, pretty nice. Sometimes a one-sided board wipe. Hillock Basilisk, definitely like that one. So Laminac is very powerful, but it's in 2 elements, so I don't know if we want to go in there. And then I think air is the weakest element, so I think that might be kind of hard to commit to. Savior's here, if we really want to try to first pick a Savior and see if it's any good. But so far, Savior has not performed very well, so I don't really recommend doing that. Avatar of Earth hasn't really performed well. Usually you want some 6 mana things in your deck, and that just doesn't really work too well with Avatar of Earth. Probably not taking Avatar here. I don't know, any other cards that you want to take note of?
The order is, okay, but I don't think I would take it over the Basilisk or the Fields of Camlin, certainly.
Yeah. And then I guess I'll mention Mix Aqua. I think water is very good. I have come up on water since we had our conversation. I mean, I wasn't low on water, but I think water probably might be the best element. I think the only thing that's for sure is air has been underperforming the other elements. But yeah, I agree. I think Hillock Basilisk or Fields of Camlin. I think I would. I'm not really sure. Do you have a strong opinion on those two?
I'd probably go with the Basilisk. I mean, it'll typically do a little bit more. I mean, fields, yeah, you have to have 3 fire thresholds for it'll probably get picked up, but hopefully it'll will.
Yeah,
And
I agree. I was leaning that way too. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can move on. So this is our second pick. We got Eric's Curiosa here. I don't think it's really a first pickable card. It seems extremely powerful, but you actually have to be like, it only really works in a draft when you are able to get into your lane really early, because then you'll have a bunch of really powerful cards that you're cutting from your deck, and you can get them with Eric's Curiosa. So if we get this on the wheel and we feel really confident in our elements, then I'll probably take it. But otherwise, I'm okay with passing it.
absolutely. I mean, there's already, 3 very good options here for fire. So
Yeah.
my first pick here would probably be the Manticore, but very, very close behind is the Siege Giant, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's non-follows here, but I found unfollows to be like a little bit weak in queue, because often you will like deck yourself with these, so you gotta be really careful with them. And often, like, you just don't want to be taking off a whole turn and limited to just play this, and your opponent's just gonna play a minion or two, and then you're gonna lose the game. So not super high on the unfollows, but if we end up in fire air, maybe we take it if there's nothing better for us. But there probably will be something better for us, honestly, because this is a really heavy fire and air pack already. So yeah, Manticore versus Siege Giant. I mean, I think Immolation is probably the next best card. I'm pretty interested in that as well. But yeah, I think I like taking a minion as well. Yeah, let's take the Manticore. Really nice to have 2 fire cards to start out with. And then I don't think we're really taking a fire card out of this pack. I mean, I think these sites are good. Course and Thias is okay, but sometimes can be awkward, obviously. And then Barghest is like a very replaceable minion. But yeah, we have Captain Baldassar, we have Chaos Twister, and then I'm going to point out Base of Babel. I think that people have been really low on Base of Babel, and I don't understand why, because these are really, really powerful. So Base of Babel, Apex of Babel, if you put them together, then you get to draw a spell, cast a spell for free from your hand. It's so, so good. And if you take one of these early, you're probably going to get the other one, because no one else wants it. So yeah, how do you feel about those? I think those are all the cards that I would consider.
I would certainly first pick the Chaos Twister here, personally. I'm kind of a fan of the Sky Baron, personally, too. 6 airborne, 6 power, 6 mana, but ultimately I'd probably go with the Chaos Twister.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little bit tough. I think Chaos Twister is probably more powerful than Captain Baldassar, but I also don't really want to be in Fire Air. Like, Fire Air is, I think, one of the worst decks in the formats. I think I would prefer to take Base of Babel or Captain Baldassar. I did just take a look at the card ladder, because I've been wondering about this card, and it's like really low on the card ladder, so we'll probably just wheel it. And then we haven't really gotten signals that Earth is very open anyway, and you want to be at least either Earth or Air, and then splashing the other site for the effect. So I think I would rather take Captain Baldassar. What do you think?
That's good.
You okay
I mean,
that?
that would be my second pick, personally. So yeah.
All right, I'm going to lean that way, because I think like Water Fire might be the best deck in the format, and Fire Air is maybe like the worst or second worst element in the pairing in the format. So I think that just is the tiebreaker. Okay, so we can talk about the fixing a little bit. So there's an Aqueduct and there's a Tinted Gel. Just so you know, there are 2 of each of the dual element sites and 2 of the double element Gothic exceptional sites. I don't think they're super high picks for me. You can, I guess, hear some of our thoughts on the fixing in our format overview video, but neither of these are Fire Air, so I guess Fire Water. No, yeah, neither of them are Fire Water, so probably not taking one here, but interesting to note at least.
Yeah, the thing that kind of jumped out to me here, and I want to get your thoughts on it, is Book of the Dead.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like a super unfollows. Like, yeah, it draws a ton of cards, basically. Like, it basically just says you'll never run out of cards. But I just don't know how much I want to take it this early. I think it is very powerful, and I would definitely play it if it comes back to us. And we really just want like most of our cards to affect the board, and this is one of the cards that you can afford to have one card that doesn't affect the board at all in your deck, and I think this is one of them that's very, very powerful. So I probably wouldn't take it here. I think I'm looking at like Sea Raider. It's just like a mini Captain Baldassar.
Yeah, Sea Raider is great. That probably should be the next pick. I really like the Flaming Skull too. I know it's just a 2-drop, but the spellcaster might come into play.
Yeah, to note, there are 5 good air cards here. I mean, maybe not all of them are like amazing or anything, but air might be actually kind of open here. But I think I'm comfortable just taking the Sea Raider, and maybe we switch off of one of our 2 main elements, but at least we have a on ramp for either being fire or water or both. So yeah, let's just go with that. I agree with Flaming Skull. It is pretty good, but probably not worth picking a 2-drop this early. I guess I'll mention that. Like, I think the curve you typically want to have, I think, like a little bit higher of a curve than you would in a regular draft format. Like, we talk about like 5-7-5, like 5 2-drops, 7-ish 3-drops, and then like 5 cards that are more expensive than that. I think in Cube, it's more like maybe like 4-6-6 or something like that. Like, it's just like a tad bit higher. So I'm not in like a huge rush to get the 2-drops, but you do want to have some amount of stuff to do kind of early in the game.
This pack is there's 3 really, really good options. With the actually 2 really good options. The Surga Harris is probably what I would snap pick. Blade of Thorns, though, is just so good.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I was immediately looking at these 2 cards as well. I think Swift and Scout is definitely reasonable to take, but yeah, I think we could get away with the Surga Harris. I mean, I could maybe consider this just because, like, I was saying I'm not in a huge rush to get 2-drops, but we already have 2 4s and a 5, so maybe it makes sense to take this Wooden Scout here. But yeah, Surga Harris is very, very good, and I think Lances are just great and limited in general, so nice to have some amount of Lances in your deck. Yeah, let's just move on from there. Ooh, and see, I told you, we got the Apex of Babel. Like, yeah, if you take one of these early, like, you're probably gonna get the other one. And I would expect the Base of Babel to come back, but now that we're like water fire, it's going to be a lot harder to actually make that combo work. But I think that's definitely worth noting. I think we should probably just take like Self-Same Simulacrum here. But yeah, Apex in the same pack as Base of Babel. Very tempting.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-Same is really the only pickable card based on our current pool.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this card as well. Like, I think lethal is a very good keyword in this because there's just a lot of large minions that you want to be killing, and yeah, lethal does a great job at that. But yeah, definitely safe Self-Same here. Now we have 4 drops, which is a bit much, but yeah, maybe we can pick up something cheaper here, either a Shelly Coat or a Firebolt. I think it's pretty easy. I guess I'd probably take Firebolts just because we don't have any removal yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I tend to kind of rate removal a little higher, so I will always take the removal if it's on the element.
Yeah, I think 1-for-1 removal is maybe a little bit worse than you're used to in a regular limited format. But this one's really efficient, and it kind of counts as a 2-drop because you can just kill your opponent's 2 or 3 mana play. Okay, we got some powerful sites here. I think Asmodeus and Rebex, like, we already have kind of a lot of like kind of top end, so I think I'm not really wanting to take a 5-drop here, but definitely a River Rapids. Very, very good card. Yeah, pretty easy to take there. Like I said, there's 2 of each of these double element sites, and there's kind of 3 deep seas because there's a floodplain going around as well. I guess to note, oh wow, the Fields of Camelot Wield? That's kind of crazy. I'm surprised. All right, yeah, well, we're definitely snap picking that. There's nothing for us here. I guess I'm Colossus is like a card that you look at the stats and you're like, oh, there's no way you can cast this, but it costs less for everything that you banish from your cemetery. So we just have a bunch of minions right now, so you might be able to cast this for 5 mana, or I've seen this cast for like 3 mana before. It's kind of crazy, so I think it's a pretty good card. Would you consider like a Sinkhole at all?
Probably not against the Colossus because we're already in water, so we might end up with a Shapeshift as well.
Ooh, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, Shapeshift is very powerful in Cube, so yeah, nice to set us up for that. Or we could just put it in our deck, like we really could. Regurgitator versus Desert versus Vesuvius.
I kind of lean toward the Regurgitator because I've been burned by it a lot. It can be pseudo-ish delayed removal, so but really it's that or the Vesuvius for me.
Yeah, I think I would lean toward this site just because we have like all playable spells right now. Like we went right into our elements. Like I think we probably already got past the pack that had the Erix Curiosa, but I think I would definitely like an Erix Curiosa in this deck. Yeah, Yeah, I think just given that we have a lot of expensive minions already, Regurgitator is very good, but I think I would take the site. So you said Vesuvius. I think I agree with that.
I would do that.
All right, and then we got Swan Maidens here. I guess there's nothing else really for us, so we could just take that. We have a nice 2-drop. Ormond Thruster versus Undertow. I think I would probably take Undertow, but we only have 1 3-drop, so I could see taking that too.
Yeah, the movement from the Undertow, I would rate that higher than the Orm Infestor.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay, there's a Shrink. I mean, we're probably never playing that, so I guess I'll take a Mountain Peaks just in case we end up splashing something. And Air has looked really open. Shameless Squire, that is a playable card. I guess I'll put that in our 3-drop slot. Ooh, we did it. Oh man, we could have had the Apex. Oh man, the Tower of Babel combo is so good with Elementalist because you just don't really care that much about your thresholds. Man, Elementalist, extremely good card. Like maybe the best card in the entire cube, honestly. Like if you take Elementalist, you can just take all of the best cards from all the packs you see for the rest of the draft. In pack 1, it is so unbeatable. Like if you draft Elementalist, you're just gonna have a crazy deck. So yeah, really excited about that one.
Enables everything, and so yeah, Elementalist is certainly my number 1 card in the whole cube.
All right, let's slam it. All right. Ooh, we got a Camelot. All right. So yeah, this is one of the combos I really like with Elementalist. So you can play this in your back row. Unique minions cost 1 less to cast to nearby sites. So it's all of your sites. You can just cast uniques for 1 less. So right now we have 2 uniques. I guess that's it right now. But this is also unique. I guess that matters. But yeah, I really like Elementalist Camelot. Okay, I didn't really even look at the rest of the pack, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're taking. When you're Elementalist, you can take sites like pretty high now because like our threshold for playable spells is so much higher because we can just play everything. So unless there's something really busted, then we should just take a site out of a lot of packs.
Yeah, the other 2 that obviously kind of jump out are Blaze of Glory and Snowball to me. Blaze of Glory is very good. It is cheap removal, and you can certainly get a lot of 2-for-1s. But of course, the Camelot. I mean, there's so many uniques in the cube.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly the pick.
Yeah, you usually end up with just like a bunch of these unique Sirs, and this is just gonna be fantastic. And I don't think I've actually tested it out yet. I think I had it in Elementalist stack, but I never drew it or something. All right, what else we got? We have a 4-color Fixer. That is pretty nice. To go with our Elementalist, we can play all the double, triple threshold stuff pretty easily. There's Mizuja Freed. I think that's a really nice card. Sir Mordred is obviously powerful. It's a bit expensive, but it's like a built-in 3-for-1. What are you looking at?
Same thing. My highest rated one here, though, would be the Mizuja Freed. The 4 Power Airborne for 3 mana. It's just so good. Mordred is, of course, fantastic, but I would I think we should work on our 3-drops.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, our curve is not looking the best. So yeah, let's lock in a really powerful 3. We can get fixing sites later. Ooh, Sir Ironside. I like this one. Anything else you're excited about?
Not really. I think the Fire Breathing would be nice if it would will, but it won't will. Maybe we'll get the Betrayal, but I don't even know if we really want that. So yeah, Ironside is just so abusive and so defensive.
Yeah, our card quality is going to be really high, so I really like to play kind of a defensive game, and eventually we're just going to draw into like so many uniques over the course of the game, and that's just really good. And the fact that this is unique is a buff to our Camelot. So yeah, I'm good with taking that. I think I like these sites, but not as much as just a really powerful threat, especially a really defensive card like that. Ooh, speaking of defensive cards, we have Root Spider. I mean, we have a lot of water sites, but we won't necessarily end up with a ton water sites. Obviously, we can play whatever we want.
Yeah, I would certainly heavily look at the Dapperel Vampire as my first pick. In here, maybe well, no, that would certainly be it. Since we are water, otherwise it would kind of probably be the Root Spotter, but yeah, that would be mine.
All right, yeah, I think Angry Mob as well. We should mention there's a lot of uniques and elites in the cube, obviously. So this has a ton of targets, and a 4-mana removal spell that leaves behind a 3-power body is really good. And we don't really have any removal, so I think I think it's between these two for me. Vampire is good, but we have a lot of powerful minions already.
Sure, and the thing with the mob too is that it is not a May, so
yeah, that is true, but I think we'll be able to line something up good. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'd go with the mob personally.
Okay, yeah, let's get some removal in here. Okay. I love that we can just look at every card in the pack because we're elementalists. Like everything is on the table, even though we're still just taking water and fire cards, basically. Yeah, so I think I'm looking at red cap Aries. We were just talking about trying to work on our curve a little bit. This is a really nice one. Harpy and Urge might be okay in this kind of deck because we have a decent amount of like high power minions, but probably we're going to get better removal than that. And this kind of counts as removal. I think it's Poweries, right?
Yeah, most certainly.
All right, I've been talking a lot. You take the next few packs. Tell us what's good.
Okay, this pack is kind of good. The thing that jumps out to me instantly is the Power Wish. Funny enough, a Wrath of God effect. And we're an elementalist. I know it's double Earth, but that might not be hard to get. Aside from that, Gargantula is amazing. I mean, it would be fantastic if we had some like aqueducts or something like that to go along with it to fix that part a little bit with that high threshold cost. I'm not a big fan of Slobbermaw. Some of the other things are just I wouldn't really necessarily look at like with the landmass or whatnot. But to me, it would probably be between those two, the Power Wish and the Gargantula.
All right, I will tell you, I've drafted Elementalist a lot, and I'm like not even worried about the threshold cost on this. I mean, we should talk about our threshold a little bit. So we've got basically single fire threshold here. Like obviously, the Elementalist always covers one of them. So we've got single fire, and then single water, and then this is water, one water, one fire, one fire. So we don't have any triple element things that would be kind of like double element, which means like as long as we draw one fire site and one water site, we can cast all of our spells right now. So we can easily fit enough earth threshold to get to triple earth for Gargantula. So I think we should definitely slam that. It's removal on a stick, just like the Angry Mob we just took. Obviously, just one of the most busted cards in Constructed, and definitely works in Limited as well, just as good.
Yeah, this pack kind of Surveillance, the thing that jumps out to me. It's unique. Yeah. We can play it for cheaper. Sir Tristan isn't terrible, but I don't really like it personally. Mox isn't bad either, but out of this, I would probably take the Balin so we can try to just load up more uniques in case we do happen to get a Camelot in play.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. Like we have 3 4-drops that are all unique, about to be 4, and that kind of just means that these are now 3 drops if we draw a Camelot, and that's kind of amazing. So, yeah, looking good. I agree with this.
Plus, it's a lance, an extra lance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have 2 lances now. Actually, 3 with the Shameless Squire. I feel like Shameless Squire is definitely gonna get cut, considering the power level that we're gonna be able to get to. We have a windmill here. I think I would take that. I think like Leap Attack might be the next best card to me. I think this is like a very underrated card. But yeah, it's a huge blowout a lot of the time. Like it's kind of like a mini Whirling Blades.
Yeah, I love Leap Attack. I would certainly snap that up if we didn't already have the Gargantula. So yeah, the windmill is probably the best.
All right, let's do that. Ooh, Fertile Earth for our Gargantula, maybe, or Blaze of Glory.
Yeah, Blaze of Glory is so good. I think we had chatted about it a while back, but it's one thing that you can use if, say, nothing else is on the board and it's your avatar, your opponent's avatar, you're both in death's door. You can use the Blaze of Glory and win the game because of the golden rule. So
yeah, that is kind of a cool part of it. Yeah. So is that what you want to take here?
I would probably take it. I think we can pass up the Fertile Earth here.
Yeah, like Fertile Earth, like it is cool for Gargantula, but that might be the only card in our entire deck that actually cares that this is a Fertile Earth instead of just a regular Valley. So, yeah, I really don't prioritize the double threshold sites when I'm Elementalist. It's really like the dual sites that you want to get a lot of. All right, Blaze of Glory sounds good. Yeah, we have no use for this Mountain Peaks, and we actually have one in our collection already. Purple Knight, yeah, that sounds good to me. It's a 3-drop. Yeah, I think Forsaken is a really good 2-drop. Just having a 2-mana 3-power minion, but our card quality, I think it's just gonna be better if we take the Purple Knight. What just happened? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, let's just do that. These are pretty generic minions in this. I mean, Legion of Gaul, I guess, is pretty good, but I might just take the Dread Thicket.
Yeah, the being able to be unblocked from the attacks. I mean, yeah, it can kind of hurt you if someone is super aggressive and you're kind of on the back foot, but you wouldn't be playing it forward anyways if that's the case. So yeah, Dread Thicket.
2 mana Cerberus, maybe? Draco Corvus is pretty good, but what do you think?
Yeah, I would probably honestly take the Cerberus, but I'm not hating on Falling Star. I kind of really like Falling Star, but I mean, getting to summon a minion for free, essentially on a delay, is not terrible. We could even pop down a Colossus from it, but I would probably go with the Cerberus. It's probably more consistent.
Yeah. When I'm Elementalist, I really just want to have a good early game because, like I said, your card quality is going to be so high. If the game goes long, you're just going to draw more powerful cards than your opponent. So just having a good curve, I think, is really important. So I think going into pack 3, I'm looking for mana acceleration, as in the cores or mixes or 4 Bars of Paradise, Shrine of the Dragon Lord, that kind of stuff. And then I'm really looking for like the really impactful 2-drops like Adept Illusionist, for example, or maybe a lethal minion or something like that, just to hold down the board while we draw into all of our expensive stuff that we want to, draw sites, develop the board, and then be able to just take over with all of our busted uniques. Probably not playing either of these, right? I mean, I guess this is a 2-drop, so if we really need it, we could take it, but...
Sure. I think we only saw the one mix Aqua 2 so far in all the packs.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Okay, what do we got here? Mod Court is definitely not for us. We got all elites and uniques basically in our deck, so. All right.
A lot of good stuff here. I would certainly look at the Dragonettes, Serpelius, and the Infernal Legion. Pelennor might be okay, but I would probably take the we kind of don't necessarily need another 3-drop, so I'd probably take the Infernal Legion here, honestly.
Infernal Legion, yeah, we have been pretty disciplined about our curve now. I think if there was like a really good 2-drop or something, we would definitely take that, but I think we can afford to have another expensive card. So I think between me, for me, I think it's Stonegaze Gorgon, it's Black Plague, or it's Infernal Legion. Oh, I actually didn't even read this until now. So we have a City of Souls here. This is one of the really busted things you can do with Elementalist. You can just play this on turn 1. You have 2 mana because you always have the Earth Threshold. And I found it like not too difficult to defend a City of Souls. So that is very, very tempting. We might just wheel this card because I think it is kind of a late pick often for people because they're not Elementalists typically. And it's pretty hard to use outside of Elementalist. So we could try to wheel it. But like I said, I was really trying to get some mana acceleration this pack, so I think I'm okay with any of these 4 cards if you want to make the call.
Yeah, I mean, I love Stonegaze, Gorgons, and Black Plague is great too. But personally, I'd probably still go with the Legion. I think we'll one of the other ones. It might be the city, but we'll probably will it. And we already have 9 sites drafted, which we might not
Yeah.
play all of. But
Ooh. Oh my gosh, this pack. Morgana and Lilith. All right. That's pretty interesting. Ooh, there's also Apply Alcahest, which is basically only for Elementalists, so we're probably going to wheel this card, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, Lilith, right?
yeah, this is a hard one, but I would certainly take the Lilith. I mean, Morgana is amazing, but Lilith has just, if you flip your opponent's, Michael or something like that, it's just game over.
Yeah, like these are both card advantage engines, and this one just plays to the board immediately. So yeah, I think I like Lilith a bit more than Morgana, but two of the best cards for sure. So amazing. What did the bot take out of that pack? I wonder. I guess he must not be water or fire, which makes sense for us. All right, what do we got here?
So, my first thought looking at this pack is the Infiltrate. I love Infiltrate. It's enormously high pick for me. We have a ton of just really, really good mortals. And so I would want to maybe take the King of the Realm so no one else takes it personally, as kind of a hate draft pick, if not for anything else.
Yeah, I
What do
would
you
also
think?
consider that. If this was the regular draft pod and we were actually playing like in pod, definitely King of the Earth is something you probably want to hate draft. I mean, maybe not hate draft, but like it is really good in our deck, but it's also just like a silver bullet against us. So yeah, I would consider it as well. Since this is a bot draft and we're not playing against people in our pod, then I might be willing to pass it. I mean, like I said, I really want to have just like an incredible early game. Also, like a lot of your opponents are going to be playing Mortals. Like Mortal is by far the most represented minion type in Cube, and I think in just like all draft formats. So this is a silver bullet against just a lot of decks. Like it's just going to steal something in like probably 50% of games. So I could see it.
So
Is
what
that what
would
you
you?
want to take?
I would take it. Yeah, considering
Okay.
our current pool, if there was a non-bot draft. So
All right. Yeah, I think I am down for that. Let's just take it and probably play it, especially if we get that City of Souls or any other acceleration. That's going to be really important to have. Ooh, there's a Baylor. Oh, there's a Sir Agravain. I think that's really
yeah,
powerful.
this pack is really really good. Agravain, Baylor are amazing cards in our elements. I really think though I would go with Agravain, honestly, just because if we're kind of focusing on the early, more of an aggro style play, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, I am down for that. I think good for our curve. Good to have early game plays like that. Yeah, I mean nothing to complain about that. It's also just in fire already. Like we just need one fire threshold to cast it, and that's just good. Okay. So Maiden Mother Crone, Smite, Lava Flow. I started to come down on Pendulum Apparel. I used to be pretty high on this card because it's just really solid removal. But sometimes it is kind of awkward that it's on your side of the board and your opponent has a little bit more flexibility where they play their stuff than you do. Yeah, what are you
Yeah,
looking
I
at?
don't
I
really.
guess Mayor Milborn also. This is a nice mortal card for our mortal deck.
Yeah, Mayor, Crown Prince as well, but I mean, I wouldn't pick that over a Mayor. Lady of the Lake might not be terrible, but I kind of personally, I would probably pick the Lava Flow just for a little bit more removal.
Yeah, I think that might be the one thing that we're lacking on. But honestly, some of our minions are removal, so I'm not too sad about our spot right now. But yeah, I think that's a reasonable pick. Let's take the Lava Flow. All right, we got a Mirror Realm. I'm not unhappy to see that. I mean, I feel like we're pretty set on minions, honestly. I guess we could take a 2-drop, but Rasputin, does he really have any combos? I mean, there's this guy. This is a beast.
I think that's the
Dude.
only demon.
Oh, and Infernal Legion and Lilith.
Oh, Lilith is a demon, so
yeah, Gargantua is a beast. So yeah, I feel like this isn't gonna do nearly enough. I think to be good.
Probably take the Mirror Realm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I really wish we saw like a single core in this draft. That would be really nice to have. All right, we have a 3-color fixer, or we have King Arthur here. King Arthur is actually kind of a non-bow with King of the Realm, though. You can't control your opponent's cards. I think you could still potentially play it. Oh, actually, there's just 2 drops here that we want. We should probably just take one of these, right?
Yeah. I'd probably go with the well, either one. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Boss Troll probably would be my first pick, but Leprechaun obviously is fantastic. So
yeah, I think this goes with the theme of just like wanting to get into the late game a little bit more. Like, I just want to be able to block with my 2-drop, and that's pretty much it. Like, I'm kind of happy with that. So yeah, I think we'll just take that. I mean, maybe that's not correct. Like, maybe Boss Troll is a better defensive measure just because you can block a little bit better. But anyway, yeah, do we want to take a removal spell here? There's also a beacon, I guess. If we want a little chance of accelerating into something.
Beacon wouldn't be a bad choice. Magic Missiles, Arc Lightning, or the Gift is all decent. I'll probably pick the Gift though over the other 2 removal spells for the card draw, and I mean it's essentially going to be doing the same thing as the other as long as your opponent doesn't have a good block for whatever you're trying to remove. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on this pack. So.
All right. I mean, we do have just almost all minions right now, so Gift of the Wolf is very powerful in that respect. We are at 24 spells right now, so we would have to cut something in order to get Gift of the Wolf in, and I don't really see anything that I want to cut out of this deck. Like, maybe I'm Colossus is on the chopping block. I just got Shameless Squire out because we're at 24, and I think that's probably our weakest card.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, probably the beacon. I mean, if this is a pseudo tower, if that, I mean, it might be even slightly better than a tower, depending on the board state. So,
wow, Gorgons and Black Plague came back. Even Clamor Harpies, I think, is very, very strong.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Yeah. It's
which one do you
want? Gorgons would be my pick. Yep.
All right, let's do it. Ooh, apply Alcahest.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't think there's any contest here. Pretty easy pick. Just 4 mana, 0 threshold, blow up everything at a site nearby.
Yeah,
pretty hard
amazing.
to beat. Yeah. Do we have any use for this? I guess we don't, right?
I mean, the Infernal Legion is the only triple
card
we have. So, actually, we actually don't have that much fire fixing currently. So,
yeah, that's true.
It might be a good idea to take the Active Volcano. I would say take the Dame, but I mean, it's not like we need it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I think I'm on the Dame. This is a nice card advantage engine. If you ever get to attack with this, like, we have so many mortals in this deck, we're going to be able to reanimate something for sure. So we'll figure out something to cut to get this in here, probably. Yeah, it's just like the Active Volcano. Like, this is a 6 mana card, and this is the only card that actually cares about having triple threshold. So it's probably just not worth it. Oh man, we didn't get that City of Souls back. That's really sad. Oh well. What else do we got? I guess maybe a pillar. It's a nice thing to gain some life.
Oh,
we got the mayor. Okay, are we taking that? Yeah. I mean, so the Earth is here, but we're not really trying to accelerate to like 6 mana. We're trying to just get to like 4 mana and be okay. That doesn't really help us out. It's just gonna be a dead card sometimes. Probably not playing these ones. Ooh, we got a free desert at the end. I might actually play that. All right, so yeah, Elementalist decks, if you ever drafted Cube, they can be kind of hard to put together, especially the Threshold. So let's see where we're at. So the cards that stick out to me, I think, are I'm Colossus. What else? I kind of like everything else.
Yeah, I do like pretty much everything else. I wouldn't want to cut either of the 2-drops either, since we only have 2 of them. I mean, maybe the Blaze, get rid of the Blaze, but do I like Blaze over Lava Flow? Probably not. So out of those, how many do we need to cut? We need 4.
Yeah, I got 4. Yeah, I really don't know. It's a really good sign. I could maybe see cutting King of the Realm just to lower our curve a little bit. I mean, it is very good, but it's kind of doing the same job as Mirror right now.
Yeah, but we could gain control of our opponent's stuff with that. We do have. We've got 3 sources of Earth. Yeah, yeah. I'd probably cut the king.
Yeah, I think if we had like 2 more pieces of acceleration, I would definitely play it. But the fact that our only acceleration in the whole deck, I think, is Beacon. Is that really the only acceleration? Yeah, I think that's just going to be a little bit sketchy to try to just manually ramp ourselves up to 7 mana and be able to play this. I think we could cut that. I think I'll cut I'm Colossus just because we don't have any combos with it necessarily. I mean, we do just have like almost all minions, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I think it's definitely just a cuttable card. Like we just want to be on the board. And that guy kind of just sits around for a while. Yeah, I honestly could see just cutting these, and like our removal is still pretty real. Like we have the ability to make some lances. We have Gargantula, Angry Mob. We have Hillock Basilisk, that's kind of removal. Infernal Legion can act as removal. Stonegaze Gorgons is removal. We have Apply Alcahest. And then this can be like a combat trick. This is removal. This is also kind of removal. Like all of our minions can almost be counted as removal. So I think we could just play almost all minions and no magics and still have a ton of like removal / like removal-ish kind of effects without having to have like this has a setup cost to it. This you might have to like move your avatar. So I think we could maybe just cut these.
Yeah, I agree. I think just the quality of all of our minions are it kind of makes up for the fact of not needing exactly all these a couple of spells that we did get. Like I said, Blaze of Glory is great, Lava Flow is great, but comparatively we don't have any other spellcasters, and we can just deal with a lot of things. Like at this point, I kind of wish we did take the Root Sputter earlier, but hindsight is always 2020. So,
all right, I'm going to export this to Curiosa, and we'll take a look at our spread of elements and try to figure this out from there, because I think it's just a little bit easier to look at. All right, so this is our deck. As you saw, you can just click export and then go over to Curiosa. I guess I'll show you how to do that quick. So you just type in the name of the deck, the avatar, and then you click show bulk add, and you can just copy paste into here. Or you click export, that copies it to your clipboard, and then you just come over here and you just paste, and it'll just go right into this list, and it'll create a new Curiosa deck link for you. So yeah, let's take a look. So we ignore everything that's single threshold. So we just want to see how many threshold do we actually need of each element. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 4 earth in our deck, and we do have one thing that's triple earth. So I guess this fertile earth technically does something, but it's not really a priority. And then for fire, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 fire. So 5 earth, 8 fire. Let me write that down. So it's okay. And then water, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 water. And then for air, we have 1 air in the whole deck. All right, does that look right to you?
It does. Because of that, do you think it might be? I know we have a windmill with the mountain peaks, which really isn't required. The beacon, yeah, we'd want to play Dread Thicket still. Would that be a good case for removing Cerbors for one of the other spells?
Yeah, I think, well, let's just see how our threshold is first. So I think, first of all, the Mountain Peaks does literally nothing, and Atlantean Fate is in the format, so we should just cut it. Fertile Earth, we should still keep in. Everything else makes sense to potentially play. So let's just take a look at what our threshold looks like, and then we'll make that determination. So let's count how many Earth threshold we have in our deck. If this was our Atlas, this is 12 sites. So we would have 1, 2, 3 Earth, and then kind of 4 with Mirror Realm sometimes. So we can count that. Let's just count it. So that's 4 Earth in our deck. And then for fire, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fire. And for water, we have 1, 2, 3, 3. Oops. And then for air, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we do have just plenty of air. Like I think we want to. I mean, I guess yeah. Do we need to add sites? Like we only have 3 water in our Atlas, so yeah, we definitely need to add some amount of water sites. So let's just do that real quick. So let's add at least 1 stream. So we definitely can cut an air site. Should we cut Dread Thicket?
Yeah, I think the problem with that though is that I think we would get more use out of the Dread Thicket rather than the 1 turn of a possible bump from the beacon personally, but that's what I would do, because we do technically have the ramp from the Camelot too.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean our curve is actually pretty reasonable. Like we kind of stop at 4 mana for the most part. So yeah, okay, we'll cut the beacon. We can try that out. I would normally really want to play all of my ramp, but I think in this deck we actually have a pretty good curve, so yeah, we could get away with that. Now we have 4 earth, 4 fire, 4 water, and 3 air. So I think we can just play Cerbors. I think like we have 3 air in our deck. That's plenty for 1 card.
Oh yeah. Now it looks good. I was kind of getting worried about not having enough threshold in water or fire, but yeah, tweaking that around a little bit, yeah, that makes it work.
All right, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, so we have to draw 2 of our water sources in order to play Lilith, but it's 5 mana. We have to draw 2 earth sources in order to play Gargantula, and then we have to draw 2 fire sources to cast Infernal Legion. Everything else, as long as we draw 1 site of each element, will be okay. I will say, like most Elementalist decks, I end up taking the fixing higher than I think we did. So I usually end up with like 4 or more of these dual element or tri-element sites. So we kind of missed on that. I think that's the only thing that I regret not doing.
Yeah, the Joyous Guard and Caerleon and some of the other sites that I did see go by, it would have certainly been nice to have at least 1 or 2 of those. I think what we ended up taking over those were probably something we didn't want to pass up, though.
All right, so this is what we ended up building. So I guess I'll say we cut King of the Realm, we cut Blaze of Glory, I'm Colossus, Lava Flow, Shameless Squire, Malakim. So all these cards are in our collection. And then we also cut this Mountain Peaks because we only have the 1 card that actually requires Air Threshold. It doesn't need double Air Threshold anyway. And then, or it doesn't require triple, I should say. And then we cut Beacon just because we really need to add a stream to our deck so we have enough Water Threshold. So yeah, you can always add a card like that. Oh, it's not letting me right now, but if you refresh the screen or something, then you'll be able to. So there's 1 stream here. So we have 4 earth, 4 fire, 4 water, and 3 air threshold in our Atlas. And then we have kind of low, we have almost no requirement for air threshold, and then we have pretty equal requirements for fire and water, and then we have like 5 cards that require some, actually 4 cards that require some earth threshold. But yeah, this is the deck. I think it's extremely, extremely good. We're definitely missing like some 2-drops. We're missing some acceleration, like that City of Souls. But otherwise, like all of our minions are just kind of busted. A lot of them come down and affect the board immediately, or they're just like really good on-rate minions. Lilith is sometimes just like, oops, I win the game. So yeah, and then we just have almost all non-basic sites in our deck, which often Elementalist, this is how the deck looks. So we kind of just have like slopped together a big pile of crazy ordinary or crazy unique cards that are just going to come down and defeat our opponent. So as long as we survive until like round 4 and we can start dropping all of these guys on their face, then we'll be very, very happy with this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. The like you said, almost every minion here affects the board in some way, shape, or form when it hits. So that's one of the main things you're really going to want to prioritize when you're picking in a cube draft.
All right, so yeah, I would give this deck like an A. Like, I know we don't have like a ton of death blow potential. That's like another thing that we're missing. But the card quality of Elemental is just kind of crazy. Like I said, I think this might be just one of the best cards in the entire cube. So yeah, if you learned something from this, please comment, let us know what you thought. Yeah, please jump into a practice draft, get a little bit of practice in, do a couple of these. Usually they're pretty quick. I probably do a practice draft in like 20 minutes or something, just kind of read through the cards. You can use the card ladder. If you look at the card ladder, you click cube, and then it'll have the cube card ladder on there, and you can kind of sort through and see how high should you be taking certain cards compared to my regular play group.
Don't ever neglect your Atlas. There's certain things in the Atlas where we have the movement abilities from the River Rapids, the Undertow. We have the potential unblocked attacks from our Dread Thicket. We could possibly or potentially do a double Fields of Camlin with the Mirror Realm. There's just, I think a lot of people do kind of skirt on their Atlas a lot of times during a draft. So I think, especially in Cube, that's one thing you should really focus on.
Yeah, if you draft a lot of Magic Cube, you know that like the lands are kind of a high pick in Cube because all the spells are just kind of busted. So yeah, you can definitely get away with taking sites over some of these powerful spells because you're just going to get other powerful spells to put in your deck. And like, look at some of the cards that we cut out of this deck. I mean, this is a bit exaggerated because we're Elementalist and we just had access to everything. But yeah, often I will cut some really powerful stuff, and I wish I would have just taken some sites over some of the cards that I cut out of my deck. So yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this season. It's going to be a complete blast. Please message me. I mean, if you want to just like send me a screenshot of like a really hard pick, or if you're trying to build your deck and you want some advice, definitely take advantage of me. Like you can send me some messages, post it in like the Cube discussion or the limited general channel on the Sorcerer Summit Discord, and let's just have a lot of fun playing Cube. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, please hop into a Cube draft and then hop into the Sorcerer Summit and queue up for some games. It's going to be a great time.